What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about all the modifications I have on my 2014 SVT Raptor SE. Let's get into it. So we're going to start with the lights on the front of the truck. I have two Baja Design Squadron Pro ambers right here. I also have the spot lenses for them, but they're driving combo right now. I typically switch to the spots. Then I have the Baja Design Squadron Pro wide cornering on the radiator core support on each side. So here's one right here. And then there's another one right there. I do have those wide cornering ambers, and I keep those on permanently. Already got some damage to her. That's the Baja Smurf there, frame cut. Now let's go to the front suspension. I have RPG tie rods in blue, as you can see. And I also have the OEM factory Fox shocks on mid-perch. The plan is to do 3.0s, but I think I'm just going to rebuild these for now, and then I will go to the 3.0s later on. Now let's work our way towards the back of the truck. As you can see, got some new wheels and tires on the truck. So let's start with the wheels. They are Icon compression 17 by 8.5 6mm offset. And they are wrapped in general grabber C-rated tires. So a lot of the tires come E-rated, but I don't tow very much and they weigh a lot more. So I got the C-rated tires, which are about the same weight as the factory KO2s. So I got the C-rated general grabber tires, true 35s, and as you can see, I got the red lettering. Now, what is not very noticeable, but it is in this video hopefully, is I upgraded the brakes. So I got R1 Concepts drilled and slotted rotors with the R1 Concepts heavy-duty brake pads in the front and rear. So I got all that done. It's really helped with braking. You know, the OEM one brakes just fine, but it has a lot of nosedive, and I noticed on one of the first drives when I was off-roading pretty aggressively, it overheated and it could barely stop. So it wasn't very expensive, and I thought it was well worth the investment, so I did that. All right, let's work on the rear suspension. I have pretty much the RPG Stage 3 setup that they offer. So it is the RPG bracket, as you can see here. I have King bump stops. And then I have +3 deavers. Huge improvement from not only my Gen 2 that was stock rear suspension, but it is so planted in the rear now. It is so noticeable driving. I would say probably one of the most notable improvements that I've seen just driving the truck. That and the tie rods. I think the tie rods were huge when getting in a little bit over bumpy terrain and going pretty aggressive. It just helps with the turning input drastically. So that is the rear suspension right here. Like I said, RPG Stage 3 setup with King bump stops and +3 deavers. Now let's look into the bed. So I have a NFab bed mounted Y strap. As you can see, just bolted on right there and bolted right there as well. And there's another bolt on the other side. And so I have a 5th general grabber and I have a 5th Icon compression wheel back here. One day I might do a chase rack with a 6th tire that I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, but as of now I just have this one. You know, it'll be sufficient, I'm sure, until I do some pretty heavy expeditioning, off-roading, and I need that 6th tire. But for now I just have 5. Also in the rear, what you'll notice is I have the Hy-Tex differential cover. There you go. So change that fluid out, put in the new cover in the rear. And let's see if I can get close enough for this. You can sort of see it. Let me get closer. So I have a turn down exhaust, and this is a Frankenstein and a little bit of a custom work. So when I bought the truck, it had a Magnaflow exhaust and it came out of both sides. I didn't like that. When we did the suspension work at Texas Motor Works, they had to cut it off. It wouldn't work with the bump stock kit. So what they did is they just welded some turn downs, as you can see there, and it's still the Magnaflow muffler. I think it sounds great. It's unique. A little Frankenstein of a work, but it works for me. And then as you guys can see, let's look at the rear lighting. Did a video on this. Is the GJ Motorsports third brake light. 3 Baja Design lights. I got ambers on the sides, and then I have a spot in the middle. Great light, highly recommended if you guys are going to do any high speed off-roading. For rock crawling, not really needed. Sure, it's nice at night, but I'm sure a regular light in the bumper or something like that would be more than sufficient. And now the interior. Nothing really done on the interior, front and back. Everything is how you would get it from the factory in 2014. Fully loaded. The 2 things that you will notice, if I just hop in here, is this mob armor mount for the phone. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I tested it out in Wyoming and it was perfectly fine and capable. Phone never went flying anywhere. I really like this mount because, you know, you don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto or anything like that, which is fine. I don't really care, but I do use my phone for navigation from time to time. And so having the phone right there in front of you while you're driving is super helpful. And the last is I have this pedal commander. So I've never had a pedal commander before. I usually have a tuner that does what the pedal commander does. But when I went to Wyoming, it was sponsored by Freedom Motorsports and did a raffle for everybody there. And lucky for me, I won that raffle. So we input it right then and there. I have it on City Plus 2, which I believe is about 2 or 3 sensitivity points from factory, and it's nice. I think the fuel efficiency hasn't drastically changed. Even with the tires, I'm averaging about 13.5, 14 mpgs just driving around. But what I do enjoy is when I go off-roading, I increase it to sport. I haven't tried Sport Plus, but just sport. And I love when you're having to slow down on turns, get sideways, and be able to have that sensitivity a little bit higher to get back on the gas and get going a lot faster. So these are the only 2 mods that I have in the inside. Mob Armor phone mount, and then the pedal commander. All right, now we're in the engine bay. And it is completely stock. I have not done anything. I've changed the air filter, obviously, but stock intake, everything's the same. I got all the lights wired up right there. The only thing that I did do, and you can do this yourself, but I took this to Texas Motor Works when I first got it, is they did the Fuse 27 relocation. And that is it. That should be all the modifications that I have done on this truck. All right, everybody. Well, that is all the mods that I have done so far on the 2014 Raptor. Like I said, there's not much more that I'm planning on doing with the truck. I might do like a chase rack in the rear at some point so I can get a second spare with the general grabbers and another wheel, but that's so far down the funnel. The next thing that's going to happen is rebuilding these shocks. I do ultimately want to get King 3.0s at some point, but I'm not there yet. I think just rebuilding the OE shocks will be sufficient. I do want to upgrade the upper control arms as well, but that is everything that I've done with the truck the past couple months since I had it. Overall, I think it is way more capable than my pretty much bone stock Gen 2 that I had. It is a lot slower, right? I think the performance in the Gen 2 is bar none compared to this truck, but this truck is a V8 naturally aspirated, so you can't beat that. But I really appreciate you guys swinging by. Sorry it took so long to post a video. I've had some friends and family in town. Work has been crazy. The weather is starting to get a little bit cold here too, so I might do some snow wheeling soon, so keep a lookout for that. But really appreciate you guys swinging by. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.